This video is on how to purchase a design and get it from your computer to your sewing machine. So the first thing we're going to do is I have already purchased a design from Applique for kids. It's an applique, and I'm going to show you that I came back. It sends you back after once you've purchased it. It directs you back to your account, and you can go up here to My Account. You can click here, and then you just go to Downloads, and when you click on Downloads, it will bring you to this screen. And once you've clicked here, you get to this screen. This is the one that I want to download, so I'm going to click on this one. It's going to pop up down here at the bottom, and I'm going to click it, and it says Open. I'm going to open this. Once I've opened it, it brings up this file. I'm going to take the one out from the background. So here you can see that I have it. Down here is a sheet that you can print off so that you can see how this does stippling in the center of this ribbon flower. This you can print off. It's a PDF that is the directions, the instructions on how to do this flower. And up here are the different formats for this design. So I'm going to click on the one that I have for my machine, which is the PES, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to open. And then that brings you over here to the designs, and you have three. You have a small, medium, and large with stippling, and you have a small, medium, and large without stippling and a plain center. So I'm going to do the one with the plain, the stippling in the center, and I'm going to do the small one, which is the SM here. So I'm going to click on that one, and now I'm going to click again, right click, and I'm going to copy this. And now I'm going to close out this screen, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to click on here so that I have already put the USB stick in the computer, and I'm going to click down until I see it here where it says USB, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go up here, I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to say paste, and that puts it into your stick. Now you'll take this to come to your machine, and we'll go there. I just put the USB stick and attached it to the machine here, and I pulled up the design. Here's our design. We're going to click on that. We're going to go down here and say Set, and then we're going to say Embroider. And here is where we will start sewing it out. My fabric is loaded into my hoop, and I'm ready to start stitching out. And the first thing it's going to stitch out is a placement line for your stem. Okay, now I'm going to put my rickrack down, and then it's going to sew across this rickrack. And you want to have your rickrack just a few inches above, not a few inches, just a bit, maybe an inch above this tack down line. I'm going to get it in place, and then I'm going to show you. You ask about using the glue stick. Well, this is where I use the glue stick. I just put a little glue across this line right here, and then I just stuck my rickrack to it, and now I'm going to go and put it back on the machine. We're going to hook it back up here. We're going to hit go again, and it's going to go stitch across this with a satin stitch, zigzag stitch rather. And I'm recording it only because it's a short little thing and it's not too bad. Now it wants me to trim off this little piece up here. I'm going to pull this out of the hoop. It wants me to trim off this top part right here. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick that where I had it stuck down, and I'm going to go right in here, and I'm going to cut it real close to that. So I trimmed it off. See, it's gone now. We're going to take this away. We're going to put it back on the machine, and we're going to do its final satin stitch over the stem, and this part will be finished. Your satin stitch is all finished across your zigzag here, or across your rickrack, and that's going to hold that down. Now the next step to this is putting it back on the machine, and it's going to do the circle for the placement for the box trim. Okay, you can see I've put it back on the machine and I did the circle. Now I'm going to take the hoop off and I'm going to put down the box trim, and then I will show you that step. As you can see, I have removed the hoop from the machine and I have it on my cutting table. I have glued down this little box trim, and I've on the line that's under the stitching line that is your tack down line, or your placement line rather. I glued it just so that the stitching on this was right on that line, so there's just a little bit of this sticking over it, and there's 3/8 inch stuck out the other side. So that's what we are told to do, and you can see I use my blue glue stick here because I love the glue stick. And then you put a little fray check on the end of this that was cut. And next we're going to place our applique piece in the center. It just covers my flower. And then you're going to take a piece of tape and you're going to tape it down at the top. And you're going to tape it down at the bottom. And this is just to hold this down flat while it goes back around and sews over this. And once it's sewn, it'll have the inside circle. It'll do a stitch, and then we're going to trim it, and then it's going to go back and finish it with a satin stitch. Here we have it, our little piece of applique fabric that has been taped down. It has been zigzagged on to the center of this flower. Now we're going to trim really, really close, like right along the edge of these stitches on the outside, to remove all this excess fabric, and then we're going to put it back on the machine, and it will do a complete satin stitch over that, finishing off the edge and have the center of your flower with a little stippling in the center of it as it's finished. And it may do the stippling in the center before it goes back, I think, to do your satin stitch around the edge. I have trimmed the fabric from the outside, all the excess fabric off, and if you can see, I've trimmed it really close to that stitching. But one thing I must tell you is when you're trimming, always make sure to hold that top layer of fabric up so that you do not cut into your little box pleats here around the back. Ask me how I know this, because I cut into one on one sample. So that's a lesson learned. Hold it up, make sure that you're not cutting that as you're going around. Get the tip of your scissors caught in it. Okay, now we're going to do the final satin stitch. At this point, it's doing a little stipple stitch in the center of the flower to hold it down. You can do the other flower design that's on in this package that doesn't have the stippling in the center, and then you can just do whatever else. You can monogram it, or you can do whatever else you'd like to it. Here's our little flower all done. Isn't this just the cutest, sweetest little applique you've ever seen? It's just such a happy, makes me want to smile when I look at it. And I hope you've enjoyed this video of how to get a design from the computer to the machine and sewn out. And our next little photo, well, you'll see the little jumper that I made. I put this on the bottom of a little jumper. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it encouraged you, to use the designs and sew away. And thank you, Joy Welch, so much for doing these appliques for us.